Okay, I'm excited. I'm not kidding. You know, sometimes when you do these podcasts, you invite people on that you just sort of know, whatever. But I have an actual real life friend here who's also just one of the coolest dudes in the industry. Okay, so Pierce Ujjainwalla is here. How did I do with the last name?
You nailed it, man. You nailed
Oh
it.
my,
We're besties. We got to be able to say each other's last names.
this is true. And honestly, I'm gonna tell you the secret. I didn't tell you this. The only reason I invited you on the podcast is I wanted to find somebody whose last name was harder to say than mine. And that's it. That's the only reason you're actually here. So
How
welcome.
old were you when you could spell your name? Because I was like grade 3, I think.
Oh, that's embarrassing. No, I mean, I was able to do it from birth. No, I'm kidding. I'm a genius. So let me tell everybody who Pierce is, besides for having an amazingly long last name. Pierce is the co-founder and CEO of a this email design platform called Knak, Knak, knack.com. And it happens to be a platform that my company uses to design our emails because it is awesome. So I asked Pierce to come on here because this dude knows about email design and what works and what doesn't work. So we're going to rip through something in email design that's going to change your engagement. You are going to get a lot more people clicking because of what we talk about today. And we're going to do a myth busting too. And then we'll get into some chaos. So Pierce, you game for all that?
I live for chaos, Jay.
That's your middle name. By the way, Pierce is from Canada. And anybody listening in Canada, if I make any fun of anything related to Canada, I apologize. It's definitely going to happen. So
We got
there's
to
that.
drop some A's on here.
Oh, yes. Some A's. I'll talk about Jim Carrey and any other people I can think of from Canada. All right. So I get this question all the time. And I want to know if you get this question. Here's the question, whether it's from a consumer marketer or a business marketer. Hey, Jay, can I put a video in my email? Do you get that question?
Literally every day, this is probably the question that every marketer wants to know. I would like to know, where did people see these videos in the emails? Because I don't know where
That's a
this
good point.
comes from, but everyone asks it for sure.
So, can you just dispel the myth? Can you put a video in an email?
Yeah, so like with anything in email, there's a lot of complexities, depends on the client. I'm not going to get into all that.
Right.
Generally speaking, no, you cannot put a video in an email. And also, like, who wants audio just playing when they open an email, right? Like, we all went through that phase of websites when there's just random sounds happening, and the first thing you want to do is turn it off. So, no, you can't put video into an email, but we're going to share a little bit more about how you could do something like a video that's even better than video.
Okay, this is great. And this is if you're a consumer marketer or if you're a business marketer. This is for every marketer. There is something you could do in email that is just not being taken advantage of enough. So I'm going to lay up the stat and then I want Pierce to go deep on what we're talking about here. Animated GIFs, and Pierce can explain how to do them and what they are. Animated GIFs in emails, okay? When you use them as part of your design for business and consumer marketers, we see over a 20% increase in click-through rate when using animated GIFs. So, Pierce, what does that mean? How do you do it? What's it all about?
An animated GIF is basically a sequence of images that makes it look like a video. So, as we already said, you can embed a video in an email, but you can embed an animated GIF. And so, I'm sure everyone's seen this. There's a million GIFs on the internet. A lot of them are hilarious. Jay, I'd like to know what your favorite one is, but mine usually includes some kind of fail. That's my jam.
Yes.
But yeah, you can put this in an email, and marketers are doing that. It's something different. We always encourage our clients to do things to stand out in email these days. And animated GIFs are a great way to grab people's attention. Now, you want to be careful. Like, some people go overboard on these GIFs, and then, you're like giving people seizures or something. But you want to be subtle with your GIFs. That's my top tip on the GIFs.
So let me ask you a thing though related to that because I'll work with a marketer and they'll be like, well, we're trying to get people to download this industry report. And what are we going to do? You make the industry report dance around the screen like something ridiculous? Is it worthwhile to animate something small or subtle or a logo? Or should you only be using animated GIFs if you're like a movie studio promoting a movie? Like, is this for everybody?
I think everyone can use animated GIFs. It really depends on your brand, right? Like, yeah, movie studio might have a much more elaborate in your face GIF of maybe some scene from the movie or like an action shot. Like, yeah, that probably doesn't work for a B2B brand, but for B2B being more subtle, like there's some awesome examples, even when you have like a screenshot of the book or a screenshot of your product, like having some minimal movement that's happening really captures people's attention. You're always looking as a marketer, how do you surprise and delight your audience? I think animated GIFs are a great way to do that.
And I would encourage everybody. I know some of you may tune this out, be like, "Oh, we're not going to do that. Our brand, we're in a regulated industry, or we're a very, very stuffy brand. We can't do that." What Pierce is talking about is you can do subtle things that make things feel like they're moving a little bit. It could even be like in the background subtly. And the reason it matters is it's not like someone's going to look at your email and be like, "This email's so cool. I see stuff moving." It's that subconscious instant grab of attention that we're looking for. So let me ask you though, when you send it out and you said that basically an animated GIF is a few different images just stitched together, is there any type of deliverability issues? Do I go to the junk folder more if I use an animated GIF? Is there any size I need to think about?
Yeah, yeah, great point, Jay. And I do want to just touch on what one thing you said there. Like, oh, if you're in a regulated industry, that's all the more reason to do this,
Yes.
probably because none of your competitors are doing it, and it will help you stand out. When you are thinking of making the GIF, the thing that is most important is the size of the GIF. So you don't want it to be more than 2 megabytes, and that's for a host of reasons. But the biggest thing is just when someone opens it, you don't want them to like not see anything or just be stuck on the first frame of the GIF for a long time. So keep it small. EasyGIF.com. It's a great website to go to make your GIFs, right? And then just keep in mind how big is it as you create that image.
That is fantastic. And gifts are for everybody. Don't think this is for some sort of sophisticated marketer. It could be for a sales email, it could be in your newsletter, it could be in an offer late email, consumer, B2B, doesn't matter. And anybody that can see an image inside of an email can see your gift. The recipient doesn't need something special. It's really just images tied together. So awesome. I think we're going to convince a lot of people, hopefully, to test. It's always about testing animated GIF. But now we're going to get into the segment of this ridiculous podcast called Since You Didn't Ask, which is it's nothing to do with email or marketing or business or I don't know what it has to do with. So, all right, let me ask you a question. You're from Canada. You're from Ottawa, and I salute you, the capital, I believe, of Canada. I feel like I should know
Yep.
that, but it is.
Yep.
Good. I got that
That's
right. That's
right.
super embarrassing if it was wrong. And I'm not. I live in Florida. I always feel that you're gonna hate me that Canada gets like a weird version of what we have here in the US. Like I saw the Canadian version of the show Chopped, and it had like a different host. It was the guy that was married to Tori Spelling was the host. I'm like, that dude's the host of Chopped in Canada. Do you get that vibe? Do you guys always feel like that? Like
Yeah.
we're over here?
Yeah, yes, there's definitely some elements. We also have like our own football league, which it's not the NFL, that's for sure. But yeah, my thing is like I love going to the States because I love Shake Shack and I love In N Out Burger, but like we don't have that in Canada. I don't know why. It would crush if it was here, but we don't have that up here.
Do you have like Dancing with the Stars? Do you have that in Canada? Is it like Dancing with the
Yeah,
Canadian
yeah.
Stars?
Yeah, I would say usually what happens is we get the American version,
Oh,
which
okay.
has like a way bigger budget, right?
Right.
And then if it does well, they're like, someone here says, hey, you know what we should do? We should make our own version, but we'll put like a tenth of the budget into it. and it's never as good.
That's amazing. I want to get a feed of Canadian TV so I can watch like, because I watch horrible television. I can watch even more horrible
Oh,
versions of the like. Do you
there's
have like Real Housewives of Alberta? I mean,
mm, not
is
yet,
that like a
not
thing?
yet.
Oh, they need
That's
that,
what
huh?
I mean, that's will probably will at some point. We had the Amazing Race Canada at one point,
Where did they
and
go? Like to just every
they
province? I
went
mean,
all over the country. Yeah. Which, I mean,
gee,
there was some parts that were kinda cool about that because it's like, "Oh, yeah, I've been there." But again, it's yeah.
is it the most offensive thing in the world? I don't even know if this is like I might get canceled for saying this. Is it offensive if I said to you that Canada is America's hat?
Well, Robin Williams had a good joke, which was like, "Oh, Canada is like a loft apartment over a really awesome party." And I was like, "What, man? Come on." I
Well, let me
love
give a
that guy,
commercial
man.
for Canada. I love Canada, by the way. So I've been to many different parts of Canada. I think it's like the happy version of the United States. So I love it there. I'm not trying to be whatever, get people angry at me from Canada. I love you all 41 million of you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I
all
mean,
right.
I feel like everyone should come up to Canada,
We're all going to
especially
visit.
if you like winter things. Canada's great, where everyone's very nice. There's great cities up here, and you can eat a beaver tail.
There you go. And you can go to Quebec and get poutine because I've done that and it's
Poutine
really,
and
really
and Pepsi and beaver tails, man. You
oh,
gotta
I don't know
gotta
what's
try
beaver
them all.
tail. What is beaver tail?
You gotta come up here to try it, I can't tell
Oh,
you.
now I
My
got to Google
Canadian
it.
listeners, they'll all know what I'm talking about, but you see, you gotta come up and check it out.
Happening. It's going to happen. All right. So we covered a lot today. We are all going to try animated GIFs, videos. We're getting rid of that myth that you could put it in emails that you should use it. Try animated GIFs. We love Canada. We're all going to wait for Real Housewives of Alberta, which is going to blow up everywhere. And everybody check out knack.com, knak.com, and go to their resource tab. They have crazy reports and design stuff that you could download and follow Pierce on LinkedIn. Pierce, we did it. Any parting words?
Yeah, it's always great, Jay. Thank you so much for having me. It's great. I wanna see more gifts out there in people's emails, so try it out and let me know how it goes.
Amazing. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being here.